So I was thinking of what I would post if I was going to record something now. And so I would want to go out and actually go to people and ask them if they're willing to trade Titanic Submarine tickets for Taylor Swift tickets. Just tell them that I bought these tickets and, no longer need them. So you give me Taylor Swift tickets and we'll be even.
I feel like you're going to have a hard sell there, to be honest. Yeah. It's going to be a tricky one. But
I don't know if it's made the news there like that, or if it impacts there at all. But here it's like been crazy for the last week. Like people actually having serious issues over missing out on Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. That's been. I mean, we've all tried to buy concert tickets and not got them at some point. People should just chill out. It's not that big a deal. It happens to everybody. So.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing 3 nights at 100,000 seat stadium here in Melbourne alone.
Yeah.
Which sold out instantly.
And, that's just how it is. But you know that there's at least 50% of those tickets were bought by scalpers who are going to sell them on anyway
not allowed. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. They banned it. So they can determine that an event is a major event and then therefore you're not allowed to resell it.
Oh.
And then they go out of their way to make sure that no one does. Basically, any event that actually would be of value to do that, they ban. So therefore, it's basically impossible. But they can force people to pay for the merchandise and a ticket at like $1,300 for a $300 ticket and a poster.
Beautiful.
That's okay, but you can't have scalpers doing their thing. It's got to be like the government's thing.
I mean, posters are valuable too. What you need to do is, remember we did a story about someone was selling contact lenses from Taylor Swift's tour?
Yeah.
Just make your money back by doing that. But yeah, poor old Taylor Swift fans. Oh, feel so bad for them. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you bought a few tickets.
Yeah, 12. But I bought a ticket for every city on the tour. But I'm not going to go. That's the thing. I'm just going to leave my seat empty as tribute. Piss a load of people off. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are people with these stories, as always, when something big happens that come off as dodgy. There's a woman who claimed that she bought $10,000 worth of tickets because she had 4 tabs open and somehow when she went to buy it then bought that, and then she was buying it for her sister, and her dad got a message that there were $10,000 worth of tickets on the Amex. But then she found friends who would buy the rest of them from her, so it wasn't a big deal. But they had the headline that she spent $10,000 accidentally buying Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, well, you can't check out multiple times. Also, if you have multiple things open, it's not going to work that you're going to do it. So, but they still run with these things as if it's legit.
Yeah. It makes a great headline, but it's not a real story. It's not possible. So,
but I think actually what you said we should do, and we should just claim that, I buy tickets to every concert and decide on the day whether I'm going to go or not. If I'm feeling like it, I will. But I try to only go to 1 in 3 because of my OCD, and therefore I want to make sure that I give back to the artist because she's given so much to me.
Just go to the concert, but have noise cancelling headphones on, and just do not listen to the music. You're just there just for the crack. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you would probably go viral actually doing that, just sitting there. And I mean, the easy way to do it is to say, my wife forced me to go, so I just stood there with noise cancelling headphones listening to death metal the whole time or something. And the whole thing is you only have to do it for 10 seconds to get the video and then claim that it's legit.
Yeah, true. So there we go. I mean, if we can get tickets now, that's the thing. So,
yeah.
Maybe that woman who bought $10,000 worth of tickets has an extra spare one. I don't know.
No, she managed to instantly get friends and family to buy the rest. So
sure. Well, good for her.
Yeah, it completely checks out that.
Yeah, completely real story, 100%.
Yeah. But it would be fun to go there and offer people tickets, or as you said, you go there and you sit with your headphones on. And
I think the fun thing is because these people are so crazy about seeing Taylor Swift and everything, and it's such a big deal. If you're like, I'll give you $25,000 right now to give me your Taylor Swift ticket, they'd be like, no. Crazy? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you'd be. Well, yeah, again, some of them are crazy enough to say no. But in reality, if it was $4,000, for example, that's enough that you could actually rebuy a ticket from someone and then keep extra money.
True. I still think you get a lot of people saying no.
Yeah, it would be fun to go outside or blowjobs for tickets. I got 5 spare tickets. Line them up, baby.
Everyone have your ID ready first. A ticket. ID. And if you're not old enough, better get your mom out here. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
You go the other way. You're like, I will give it to you for free, but only if your dad blows me.
She's like begging her dad, please, Dad, take one for the team, you fucker. Oh, brilliant.
I almost reckon you could get it to happen too.
And yeah, I don't want it to, but all right. The dad's like, all right, let's do this. No, we don't have any tickets, bro.
I mean, you would definitely go viral too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just what we want is for Taylor Swift to react to such an event happening.
I feel like if you actually did it, you would go big enough that she would get involved and. Although it would be a good, you fake the entire thing as a porn setup, this guy. It's DILF porn. And it's the only way he could get his daughter tickets to see Taylor Swift was through this video. And then the whole narrative of the video is you're going to earn it. Just I'm very proud of you for what you've done for your family.
Stop enjoying it so much. Not what you're here for. This is work.
That's why you need a good actor, one who can play the I'm not interested.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, you'd probably have to apologize if you did it for real. But the United Airlines CEO has apologized.
Uh-huh.
And do you want to guess what for?
Being a shitty airline. No?
No, that would be too real. The last time I flew on them, albeit to be fair, it was like 10 years ago, almost literally 10 years ago. There was a giant hole at the back of the plane.
Okay.
Like on the outside, you could see, and I think it was meant to be there, but at the same time, it's not like very reassuring.
Yeah, that would make it be the last time I flew with such an airline. Yeah. Yeah.
He's made an insensitive decision, so I'll give you a clue.
Insensitive decisions.
Yeah, that he's apologized for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Did he not allow people to I know, sit together with a baby or something? I don't know.
Well, they were canceling flights.
Uh-huh.
So he decided to just fly private.
I mean, that's fine. He's a wealthy dude.
Yeah, but I mean, if your airline is canceling flights to then fly private to get around it.
He's not going to fly shitty American Airlines. He's like, I want a good airline.
No, but I think all airline employees are meant to fly on their own planes.
Well, too bad. Yeah, I mean, look, if it's what do you call it? I mean, why did people know anyway that he was flying private? That's like why? That's a bit weird.
Well, it was reported by the Associated Press. I don't know how they found out. Although they can usually track these things in some ways.
Seems like somebody set him up though, because like somebody must have been like, CEO is flying private. I mean, why would he have to fly private? He owns a company that owns planes. He could just like be like, hey, take one of those planes and fly me where I'm going.
Yeah. How about we don't cancel the flight I'm on?
Yeah. There you go. This flight is going to go ahead. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation. It's amazing to me though how they just cancel flights for seemingly no reason over there in the US. So I presume they're trying to say they had no staff or whatever, but still, the dude had to get where he was going. He had enough money to do it. So there you go. I would do the very same thing.
There doesn't seem to be an explanation as to how they found out that he flew private. But maybe people saw him in one city and then were like, well, weren't you meant to be? How did you get there if all the flights are canceled?
I mean, I would be like, why don't you fuck off, mind your own business? It's like, I'm a wealthy dude who can afford to fly private. So I did. Yeah. Fuck you. So.
Well, that sounds like the kind of move that a king would make. And we all know that that King Charles is perfect.
Well, I wouldn't say that at all.
And if you're going to change the king, how would you figure out who is the next king?
I would have a talent contest. Whoever has the most exciting talent would be the king.
Have you been reading the news? Because Bob Geldof, the creator of Live Aid, and he's also I didn't know this. He says he invented Survivor, and he is one of the co-creators of Survivor. He's actually suggested that Australia move away from the monarchy and we have our own version of Survivor to find the next king.
Wow. Well, Bob Geldof is a crazy motherfucker, but I like it. I think it's a good idea. I think everybody should disconnect from the British monarchy in any way, including the British. It's crazy, but yeah, I think having a new Australian king or queen would be fantastic. I think that would just It would just spice up the whole worldwide monarchy.
Especially when decided by what he says is you should have a reality show called Australian Crown, and the winner gets to be the Australian royal family forever.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be a fun time. Everybody gets to take part. You can become like the lowest scumbag in the town can become the royal family. So why not? Why not?
It would be awkward if the show got cancelled though after a couple of episodes because the ratings weren't good enough.
Each week, a different challenge based off a different reality show. So like 1 week it's Survivor, the next week it's like that Lego building champion show. Then it's the Bake Off show. And then like, so each week you've got to prove you're good at everything. That's on a reality show.
The best person at making Lego, baking a cake, renovating a house, and answering obscure questions is qualified to be the king.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds, and then the very last one is like a Deal or No Deal knockoff where you can get to the last round, but can you find the case that says you are the king? If not, sorry, pal, you're out. So
and then they get to make deals. You won't be the king, but you'll get $12.50.
Well, this case does not make you the king, but you have won a weekend away in Birmingham. Way. It's going to be great.
A weekend away in the middle of February in luxurious Birmingham.
In a 2-star hotel. Could have been the king, but that's what you want instead.
In the city center, next to a few nightclubs. Your family's going to enjoy it. The kids have to go with you. So you need to add some danger into your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there you go. I think we've Bob Geldof and us. We can formulate this show, make it a good one. So
yeah, get in touch, Bob.
We just need the people of Australia to all agree that this is how we're selecting your monarchy. So.
Yeah. Well, no, we just need him to produce this show. We'll force the people to accept it.
Okay.
They don't really have a choice.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Bob. And perhaps during that we could have a bachelor party for him.
Okay.
I don't even know why, but that was the next story. So that's a great segue to say, what is the worst thing that can happen on a bachelor party?
Okay, so I'm going to say you hire a stripper and
it's the queen.
Beyonce turns up. So.
Well, again, that's pretty close, actually. But this is even worse than that.
Okay.
It's the ex-wife.
Oh. All right. Well, you've seen her naked before, so it's fine. It's an acceptable stripper situation.
It'll go down well with the fiance.
Yeah, she'll be totally fine with it. She'll have no problems. She'll be like, oh, that's fun. So Sarah was there? Oh, yeah, she was the stripper. It's great.
A stag do organizer is opening up about what men really do when they're celebrating the last night of freedom. When asked about the most bizarre stag do he's ever arranged, John told the Daily Star about a mix-up with the exotic dancer he'd booked for the festivities. John explained probably the most unusual stag do we've had was when the group stag booked a stripper and the stripper turned out to be the groom's ex-wife. The groom didn't know his ex-wife had taken up stripping, and we aren't in the habit of asking performers whether there's a possibility the group they'll be entertaining will have any of their former partners involved. I think they should.
A weird question. Yeah, I mean, it might be slightly awkward, but you still make the best of it.
Yeah. I feel like it could get even looser and wilder.
Yeah. You know, you've got an insight there. You know all the things that work for her. Get her all excited. Yeah.
This is pretty genius. They mentioned that like on their through their company, they have you can rent sexy hitchhikers where your airport transfer bus will pick up a woman from the side of the road only for her to perform a strip show for the groom.
Nice. Sounds incredibly difficult to orchestrate properly, but all right. You pick up the wrong hitchhiker. All right, strip. What?
That is perfect to get the wrong hitchhikers.
You're just like 100 meters down the road. And I pick them up first. Uh-oh.
And then someone else picks up her family picks up the other girl, and it's
well, this is weird, but all right. Here's my show.
There's the naked dessert where the groom eats cream and fruit off a fully nude woman, or the naked buffet where the whole meal is served to the stag party while the stripper lays down. Roly-poly shows involve plus-size stripper in the action while a fake bride will wear a ring and bring a wedding certificate before performing a strip show.
Okay. Sounds a bit unusual. Sure.
The owner says he isn't privy to whether the grooms will cheat during the parties.
Yes, he is.
It's a great way of saying, yeah. He says there could be thousands of reasons someone could get kicked out of places in Amsterdam. Okay, so then it goes into completely changing the story, but to the fact that actually, I don't know if you heard about this, that Amsterdam has a campaign called Stay Away, which is trying to stop English people from going to Amsterdam for pub crawls and stag parties.
Nice.
And they're specifically advertising in England to discourage males in the age category of 18 to 35 years old.
That's perfect. I mean, you know, here in Ireland, we've been trying to get British people to stay away for a long time, but it doesn't work. They just keep coming. But,
turns out ads, don't necessarily work. It just reminds them you exist.
What I hope their ad is like just like promoting other cities, like Berlin, go there, better than Amsterdam, or Oslo, better than Amsterdam. Like that's the slogan, better than Amsterdam. It's for all these cities, like highlighting the great places to go to.
Bangkok has a wide variety of things for you to try.
Better than Amsterdam.
They literally just have ads of promoting the red light districts in other countries.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Well, there you go. That sounds like a nice.
So apparently Spain did it first.
Mm-hmm.
But now Amsterdam is they've launched a campaign to discourage undesirable tourists from the holiday area.
Brilliant.
So they're including forcing brothels to shut their doors during certain times of the day and night. Plus, alcohol can no longer be sold in some areas outside of designated times. The Stay Away campaign, which shows people seeing warnings when searching online for specific terms, such as pub crawl Amsterdam, stag party Amsterdam.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's it's cross promotional tourist industry work to be done here. Which cities want tourists and which cities can Amsterdam send people to? I mean, there's they could get other countries to pay for this. It's genius in so many ways. So yeah, I love it.
Lanzarote president, which is Spanish city, said that the island wanted to attract higher quality German tourists rather than the British ones.
Lovely. There you go, higher quality German tourists.
It's what everyone wants, is the Germans to come visit.
Yeah.
Expand to more of Europe.
One or two is fine. Not you don't want a big party of them. It's trouble.
What's the weirdest type of rain you've heard of?
Purple. But that's just a song. So I don't know. Weirdest kind of rain. I presume this is something to do with like something falling from the sky that isn't actually rain, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, in France, drugs are being raining down after a French fighter jet intercepted a tourist plane.
Okay. It just rained drugs on everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
So a French fighter jet intercepted a tourist plane over a remote region of France, leading the pilot of the small aircraft to throw out more than a dozen bags of suspected drugs, security forces said.
Nice. Imagine you're just walking along one day and this bag of drugs falls into your hand. It's not mine. It just fell out of the sky. Jesus wanted me to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be doing these drugs. It was a sign from the heavens.
Yeah. I was walking along thinking, should I do drugs? And then the next thing, big bag of drugs just fell right in front of me.
I promised to stop, but sometimes you get a sign that maybe now isn't the time to stop.
I asked God for a sign. I got one. So don't tell me my religion's not real. Brilliant.
How much leave should you take before you get fired?
All of it. Just as much as you can get away with. So.
What about 20 years?
Yeah, that's enough, yeah. Feel like I could go on leave for 20 years. That's fine.
Well, an Italian teacher has been sacked for 20 years of absence and has vowed to defend herself.
Beautiful. Always liked the Italians. It's a great way to do it. But 20 years. How did she manage that?
It says that she reappeared for 4 months and triggered complaints. Said she had documents to prove her story, but told the newspaper, sorry, but right now I'm at the beach.
Brilliant.
She says, I will reconstruct the truth of the facts of this absolutely unique and surreal story. I don't answer questions from journalists thrown around that wouldn't do justice to the truth of my story.
Okay.
So the ministry argued that the teacher had kept out of the classroom for 20 out of her 24 years of service. For the first 10 years, she was completely absent, and her absences in the other 14 years were attributed to sickness, personal, or family reasons. The court heard that in a 4-month period in 2015, when she did teach, students complained of her lack of preparedness, her failure to bring textbooks, and her random and improvised way of marking.
Brilliant.
So she just made up marks.
I mean, It sounds to me like she's, not fully committed to her job, but also committed fully to making it the easiest it can possibly be, and I respect that. I feel like she needs some sort of award or something. But yeah, I mean, like the first 10 years just didn't show up at all. Ben was like, "Fuck, I better go to work this week."
For personal reasons.
Yeah. That's
Isn't nearly everything a personal reason?
I mean, more, yeah. I don't want to. I'm not coming to work today. Why? Couldn't be fucked. It's not my cup of tea. I don't feel like it. Personal.
I'm tired. That's my personal reason.
I just fucking hate work. I hate the kids. So, yeah. I mean, how were they still employing her after 10 years of not turning up to work? Like, I'm sure you wouldn't.
I guess it's Italy and they can't fire her or something.
If that's the case, then I'm moving to Italy. I'm getting a job.
Aren't there like a bunch of countries where like it's almost impossible to fire people? So,
yeah, that's phenomenal. I'm gonna go get a job, not work for 20 years, and then be like, all right, fine, you can't fire me. Came to work for 4 months out of the last 20 years. We meet someone at a bar. So what do you do? Well, technically, I'm a teacher. Spend my days on the beach.
Well, she's a freelance journalist now, so.
Who isn't? That's what we all do with our Twitters and our Facebook. Journaling.
Now, how serious do you take where you sit at a movie?
It's quite serious. I will never
serious
sit
than
up
most
front.
people. I
mean, probably. I don't know. I have preferred seats, but.
Well, what if someone sat in your seat?
I would be like, I'd pick another seat, but I'd be like resentful towards that other person. So.
Well, in New Mexico, a man was shot dead over an argument over seating at a cinema.
Yeah. This is why I don't go to the cinema in America anymore.
I don't know. I feel like it's a more exciting experience because people like
every time
cheer
the
it
door
on
opens,
and stuff.
you're like, oh no.
Well, yeah, even not even considering that, but like people there cheer on the movie, which you don't really get elsewhere. Like people here are like they'll laugh or whatever, but they're not gonna be like no or yay and whatever. Like it's yeah.
Yeah. Don't open that door. Shut the fuck up. I'm watching the movie. Yeah. It's a fun experience, I suppose, but still.
Well, yeah, these people were supposedly shot or allegedly shot or is accused of shooting the guy over. The victim and his wife sat in seats he had bought for himself and his girlfriend.
Okay.
Police say that the staff at the cinema in Albuquerque tried to resolve the issue at the screening of No Hard Feelings, which is a bit of an ironic name of a movie to see.
Yeah. I'm had an argument over the seats. No hard feelings, bro.
Well, a bucket of popcorn was thrown after the situation escalated, and then gunfire.
Why is that where they go to? Like, what is wrong with just so many things? Like, what is wrong with a society where people be like, well, I'm mildly inconvenienced, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
I have to sit 2 seats over from where I just chose to sit on the internet. All right. You are dead, my friend. And
also, like, it's a movie that's probably going to bomb. So, like, it's not like.
I feel like it's not the biggest movie. It's not a reason to get like put in prison. So, you can't claim self-defense. Yeah, like it was self-defense.
Eat, pray, love. Eat, pray, love. I completely understand it. But no hard feelings. I mean, come on.
Let's have a look. No hard feelings movie. Oh, that's the one with the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
I think the fact that you don't know it off the top of your head.
I was like, is this some sort of indie movie or something? No,
it's some obscure movie that is in like 2 theaters.
But I still, I mean, like, I like Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's a great actress. I wouldn't be upset to sit in a different seat to see her movie. It wouldn't bother me at all. So,
wow.
Certainly wouldn't get violent towards somebody.
Would you have hard feelings though about it?
Depends how good the movie is. Yeah,
I wanted the movie to be a raging success, only for the thing of it would then create the opportunity to make like a YouTube version of We Did This For Real. But because it kind of just went nowhere. Yeah, not enough to.
Yeah. Well, there'll be other movies, but still, just think about it. Look, we've both been to America a good bit, and when you go to America and you sit in the cinema, just make sure you're in the right seat, because apparently now you can get shot by some dude for sitting in the wrong seat. Fucking wild, man. But yeah, just all the things you can get shot for. It's crazy. You're in my seat. I'm gonna move, bro. Too late. Yeah, fucking wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Imagine being that's when you die. You're like, you went to see a movie and you sat in the wrong seat, so you got killed.
Also, like, there's got to be more screenings of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That one could have just gone to another screening if you really cared about where you sit that much.
I mean, like I've said, there's been times when I've gone to movies and the seat I want to sit in is booked, so I just book another one. It's fine.
Just sit in their seat. Make them shoot me.
Just sit. Well, the more.
Hey, buddy, if you want this seat, you're going to have to earn it.
That's why I bring my machete with me to the cinema every time. Like, you bring a gun, I got a machete. So let's see who wins. Yeah, no, just don't do. Everyone needs to just take a deep breath and not shoot someone sitting in the seat you want to sit in. It's somewhere else. It's okay.
Or if someone is angry and going to shoot you over where you're sitting, you just tell them, "Hey, bro, no hard feelings." Okay, you can have this seat over my dead body. Like, what did he think? He was going to just kill the dude and then sit there watch the movie? The guy who shot him also threw the popcorn tub in the wife's face.
Oh, well, there you go.
That crosses the line.
It does. Wasting good popcorn. Yeah, no, that's out of line. That's terrible. I'm not a fan of that.
Also, if you're going to see the movie on a Sunday night, like, there can't have been that many people.
No.
You would think.
No. There's definitely just a case of some idiot being, I don't know, it's the weird thing is.
Whoa, there's more details to this in another article.
Okay.
So you're probably thinking, oh, well, this person had to sit like at the front and their seats were perfect in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would be like the rational reason. So the guy who got shot and his wife purchased seats 8 and 11 in row F of the theater after an employee suggested they ask the 2 people sitting in seats 9 and 10 to move down a seat.
Okay.
But when the guy arrived, the 2 couples started to squabble over the seats, prompting an employee to step in and eventually escalating the whole thing. So we're not talking about like moving even a row. or anything like that. We're talking one seat over.
Yep. So basically, it's the cinema employees' fault that all this went down.
I'd be suing that wife should be getting free movies for life.
And
First
popcorn.
of all, and popcorn. First of all, you said no hard feelings. There were hard feelings.
Some very hard feelings, okay?
Yeah. This was blatant fraud. I was told there would be no hard feelings.
Wonderful.
So, the guy got shot, apparently yelled, "What the hell?" before pushing the guy into the wall. And then gunfire rang out. And then the guy fled the thing, and crazy. Again, moving one seat over because these greedy cinemas wouldn't fix it.
I mean, it's pretty shitty, to be honest. Yeah, they should.
I mean, if there's any lesson here, it's don't go to the movies in Albuquerque because
yes, indeed. Stay away. Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, like the whole time I was picturing from the first article, these people had like center seats in the perfect spot and then they had to sit up the front and they were angry.
Yeah.
We have to move one seat over.
Yeah. It seems like the smallest inconvenience in the world. See, this is the problem. People are getting killed now because of one seat over. So yeah.
Back in my day, you had to move 3 rows to get shot.
Yep. Oh, well, there you go.
A Kenyan couple were arrested and charged for plotting to export what?
Well, what do they export from Kenya? Coffee, tea, military secrets. I don't know. Children.
That's way too normal.
Okay.
Ants.
Excuse me?
Ants.
What? Why? And how?
They were charged for plotting to export ants to France and China. A husband and wife and a postal worker were charged with attempting to export the ant species without authorization from Kenyan Wildlife Service.
Okay.
A prosecution thing begged the court to speed up the case, stating that the lives of the ants on display were at stake. The ants were said to be worth 300,000 shillings or $2,135.
Crime of the century.
Yeah.
$2,000. Wow.
$2,000 worth of ants.
Who knew that ants could command such a value? Yeah. Are they special Kenyan ants? Is that why they cost so much? Is there?
Yeah, it's a type of species or something.
Well, there you go. You learn something new every day, and that's weird.
Your next trip to Kenya will be.
Yeah, the next one is all about the ants. As long as I get permission from the Kenyan Wildlife Association or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a weird thing to like wake up one day and be like, we should smuggle ants to France. We'll make $2,000.
Yeah, I mean, who would even think to steal ants?
It seems like one of those things where somebody saw a TV program or a news report. They were like, these ants are worth X amount in France if they can get them. And they're like, there's ants in the garden. Let's go get them.
Well, no, they were charged because they had them in their possession. So obviously you can't. Yeah, I don't even know.
There's all sorts of weird shit going on out in the world, and these people decided to smuggle ants to France and China for $2,000. So you'll never understand it, I don't think.
Yeah, although it seems like you can do it, you just need the authorized approval to do it.
Okay.
Their arrests stemmed from their involvement in an attempt to circumvent official protocols pertaining to the exportation of harvester ants.
I hope in Kenya on the day this was discovered, this was like the big news flash on the 6 o'clock news. Like, couple try to smuggle ants. Find out why. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually like a big deal there, apparently.
Awesome.
But yeah, trying to find more. All the articles have too much. The prosecutor urged. Hang on. So they were waiting for someone from Paris or Beijing to show up to explain how, in French gourmet restaurants, they are cooked or what role they play in traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
And they'd actually started breeding them in their home.
All right. So, yeah, it seems like they were all in on the ant business. There you go.
So yeah, but basically it's food or something in China.
Interesting.
So maybe we need to go to China with a whole lot of ants.
Nope.
Well, okay. Someone broke into a house naked.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
And left a present. And that is the tame part of the story. Do you want to guess what happened?
No, I don't. A story that starts off with they were naked and they broke into a house doesn't usually go to good places. So, yeah.
So a man has been charged over a bizarre incident in which he allegedly broke into a home naked. He was chased away by an outraged male homeowner, allegedly after climbing into a couple's comfy bed at 1:15 a.m. while in some kind of altered state.
Okay.
As if that wasn't strange enough, those who lived at the property soon discovered their visitor had left behind an unwelcome present in the kitchen. It says a brand new stool, but not of the wooden variety, and definitely not one you'd want to sit on.
I mean, maybe you wouldn't. But
I pay extra for that.
Knew it. Yeah, I mean, people who are naked at that time of the night will usually like leave you stools in the kitchen. That's what happens. At least they didn't flush the toilet and wake the whole house up. So.
Although that would have been better to just use the toilet.
I mean, in your opinion, that's fine.
I want to know where in the kitchen, like on the.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone does it on the stove, you can't keep your stove after that because there's no way to clean.
Oh man, yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no amount of cleaning that will make you feel comfortable that the stove is now clean.
No, there isn't. That stove's being thrown out. New one is being purchased. Yeah.
And apparently it's not uncommon for this. They even mentioned that one time a person made a court appearance where the accused had left a log in the victim's open fireplace while robbing the place.
Well, that's where logs go, in the fireplace. So,
but apparently it's actually common to the extent that where they actually have theories as to why people feel the need to do that. And like that apparently it causes excessive anxiety and stimulation when they break into someone's house, which makes them need to go.
Yeah, I've read that before. I think, the likelihood is people are going to break into your house, they're going to leave a shit somewhere.
I know when I do it, I feel the need to go.
It's why if you're going to break into houses, have a good clean out, a good detox like the few days beforehand.
That's why I sell enemas for burglars.
Yeah.
Part of my home burglary training course is the preparation.
My new Skillshare course, how to break into houses.
And not get caught.
Yeah.
Leave no evidence behind.
Exactly. That's what you got to do.
Now, you've been known to pretend to be a priest.
All the time. Yeah.
An employee testifies that a restaurant offered a priest to extract confessions of workplace sins out of staff.
Okay.
So this is from the U.S. Department of Labor. They posted a thing, where basically a Northern California restaurant used an alleged priest to get employees to admit their workplace sins. The restaurant offered employees a person identified as a priest to hear confessions during work hours. The employee told the court the priest urged workers to get the sins out. That's a quote.
Nice.
And asked employees if they'd stolen from the employer, been late for work, had done anything to harm their employer, or they'd had any bad intentions toward their employer.
You can have so much fun though with that. I mean, even if you didn't know it was fake, I would still have fun with it. I would be like, well, you can't. This is between you and me, right? Well, because I slept with the boss's wife.
And God.
Yeah.
Between you, me, and God.
Oh yeah, of course. It was actually God who told me to do it. So yeah, she and I have been having a very sexual affair for the last 6 months. It's good.
But imagine your work brings in a priest, and the priest keeps encouraging you to confess sins about your job. As if that would be slightly fishy.
I feel like if that was the thing, first of all, I'd be reluctant. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. But then as they kept going, I would be like, I'm going to make up stuff just to get 10 minutes of not having to do this stupid job. But yeah, have you stolen from the employer? No, but he steals my time. So.
It said other employees reported that a manager falsely claimed that immigration issues would be raised by the department's investigation.
Wow. Well, there you go.
They also learned that the employer paid managers from the employee tip pool illegally.
Nice.
Threatened employees with retaliation and adverse immigration consequences for cooperating with the department, and fired one worker who they believed had complained to the department.
Nice. These are the people you want to work for.
Yeah, it sounds like a great place to work.
Yeah. They try to scam you, try to trick you, they steal your tips. What a company.
Well, the good thing is that they mention the name of the place, so you can look it up. Whoa, it has 2,000 reviews and 4.3. What the? This almost doesn't make sense. You would expect that there'd be a ton of like negative reviews if they were in a big story.
Yeah.
Like this, but no, there actually isn't.
Wow.
Unless this makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. They have 4.3 on Google and no negative recent reviews. Except old ones. Now, there is a review saying my credit card information was compromised through their credit machine. Which,
that's the problem.
Yeah, does seem convenient. There is one from 10 months ago that says employees are great and the food is great. However, the owners and management that steals wages/tips from employees and actively makes threats against them for cooperation in an illegal investigation earns this place 1 star.
There we go.
But there's one review with that. I mean, okay, there's another one that says the owner is a slave runner hypocrite.
Yeah, that's less positive than you would want.
Yeah. The weird thing is, so all the negative reviews seem to be from like a year ago, even though that like the government officially releasing a press release about them only came out now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they blocked reviews or something.
Yeah, they must have done so. I think there is an option to delete reviews on Google if you're paying for that option. I'm not sure. That's not something about like being able to remove bad reviews. So possibly, if it's not actually their food related, they probably were able to take them down.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Well, an unemployed man was found dressed as a chef in a kitchen. And what do you think happened that sparked this? People noticing.
He was eating the food as he made it, maybe? I don't know.
A lot worse than that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe he took 20 minutes on his 15-minute break and they were like, what the fuck?
Well, the same night that happened, something major happened there.
Okay.
Right. So the same night, 7 people were hospitalized from unknowingly consuming narcotics.
Had they fallen from the sky?
A man dressed as a hibachi chef walked in and out of the kitchen approximately 3 times before being told by the manager to leave the restaurant because he was not an employee.
I mean, that's no reason to make me leave.
Wow. So yeah, they were just eating, and then 2 people told deputies they started to feel weird after consuming their food. According to a report, the 2 people claimed they were up until 4:30 a.m. talking with their 2 children who said they also ate at the restaurant. All 7 took tests, which came back positive for meth. So,
you sure you didn't just take a load of meth with your kids?
It'll help them with their studies. Now, the family also had leftovers from the restaurant, which tested positive for meth as well.
fantastic.
Now, one of the 3 people who showed up at the hospital later spoke with deputies and said the chef was using 2 different soy sauce bottles, one which contained soy sauce that looked thicker than the other.
Yeah, because I had the meth in it. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like if you have a person dressed as a chef walking in and out of your kitchen, you might need to do more next time.
Yeah, I think so.
The guy had actually filled out an application to work at the restaurant, but was never hired.
That's what they think. But yeah, he disagrees.
Not according to his meth dealer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the man had learned recently that the sheriff's office identified the man and learned recently he quit his job at another sushi restaurant because he was allegedly told he would be getting a raise but never received it.
Bastards.
So then he just went and put meth in.
Walked into another restaurant, put meth into soy sauce and started working for free. All right.
Yeah, wow. Sometimes you got to be careful with your food, I guess. Like,
there you go. I mean, honestly, nobody wants to be up until 4 a.m. talking to their kids as a family. So, also, if they're on meth, it's going to be an annoying conversation too. Yes, indeed.
Like if it's talking to your kids is one thing, but your kids on meth.
Yeah, that's it's not a good thing.
Well, normally we end on a weird story, so let's end on a high.
Uh-oh.
What do you do if your wife lets you choose between her or beer?
It's a trick question. Run away. Do not answer that question. Yeah, I'm going to say you should just pick your wife all the time. There you go.
Well, this person says, I never thought that I would be faced with such a difficult decision. But when my wife gave me the ultimatum, I was left with no choice but to pick beer.
No, dude, you picked the wrong one. You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but beer is something that has always been a part of my life. It is a part of my identity, and I couldn't imagine giving it up.
Okay. Kind of slight alcoholism vibes going, but it's okay. We're fine with it.
The first time I tried beer was when I was a teenager, and it was love at first sip. I'd been drinking beer ever since.
I don't know.
I never drank too much, but I did enjoy a few beers on the weekends. My wife, however, had a different opinion. She was always concerned about my drinking and how it was affecting our marriage. She said it was getting in the way of us spending time together and that it was becoming a problem.
Sure.
I tried to listen to her, but I couldn't bring myself to give up beer. I was so attached to it that I couldn't imagine life without it. It was one indulgence, and I didn't want to let it go. So when my wife gave me the ultimatum, I was left with no choice but to pick beer.
But he said that he only had like a couple of drinks at the weekend. It was like he didn't drink too much otherwise. So it's I don't know, conflicting reports here. She's like, pick me or the beer, and he was like, oh, all right, cracking open a six.
When I told my wife the decision, she was devastated. I could see the hurt in her eyes, and it broke my heart. We'd been married for 10 years, and this was the first time I'd ever put something before her.
I mean, something caused her to raise this question or give him the ultimatum one way or the other. So It's not actually the first time. It's just the first time he's recognized it. But yeah, sounds like a mature young man. So,
in the end, she said that if I chose beer, then it was divorce. I was crushed. I didn't want to lose my wife, but I also couldn't give up something that had been such a big part of my life for so long.
I mean, you know, I feel like you could move to ciders. You could have whiskeys. If you want to keep drinking, that's fine. You don't have to.
And does zero alcohol beer count?
Nope. But there's all kinds of. I mean, your wife should be bringing you more joy than beer is. So I don't know. It probably wasn't even a serious ultimatum, and he was like, "All right, fine, I pick beer. Fuck, don't make me choose." But if you make me choose, beer wins. Yeah.
She's like, I didn't even mention that. I just said.
She's like, I just said you're not having another beer, are you? Yes, I am. Don't make me choose between you and the beer. Wow.
He says, I still love my wife, even if I chose beer over her. I just hope that one day she can forgive me and understand why I made the decision I did. Until then, I will just keep drinking beer and trying to make the best of the situation.
I'll get a new wife who likes me drinking beer and is not going to make me choose.
Problem solved.
There you go. But I feel like you shouldn't have made that choice. Whoever you are, beer is great, but it's only beer. That's all it is, so,
I mean, there's plenty of other alcohols out there.
Yeah. Plenty of other nice alcoholic beverages that you could swap over to. But yeah, I mean, shows how much he actually cared about his wife. Beer. Oh, beer. Jesus. Yeah.
Although, unless there's a massive issue, I feel like there's.
It's like from time to time, she will let you have a beer. Birthdays, maybe one at Christmas, your anniversary, she might be like, all right, you can have a beer. So, you should have thought about that before you threw it all away. So think of how much money you're going to spend on hookers now. So. But anyway, what a nice story. Beer wins the day again.
Yeah. Moral
You're a beer enthusiast.
Drink beer.
You always learn something on this podcast. And today it's that beer is you can choose beer over your wife. And there's no moral to that story. Just you can do it.
Moral of the story is beer.
As long as it's not non-alcoholic beer, you're good.
Well, that includes apple beer then.
Well, we'll see.
You said as long as it's not non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about fruit-based beers.
Oh, either. You shouldn't have made the bold statement if you...
Well, look, let's just leave it there. Not talk about it.